So let us start our session. So let us first of all understand what Manya is. Manya provide coaching and preparation test preps for all the entry requirements for the universities, like we prepare for GMAT, GRE, IELTS, SAT, AP, and university shortlisting. And we help the students with the proper admission procedures also. We assist almost around 45 countries, and more than 3 lakh applicants have been serviced by Manya, right? And we have tie up with high ranked top universities where we can help you with the admission procedures. And the major destinations which Manya help with the students are USA, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, Singapore, and Ireland. So we'll begin with Germany, right? So why Germany? We'll be covering all these content in this PPT, in this webinar. Is that why Germany? What is the German education system? What type of intakes are there? And what are the application deadlines? And what is the mode of language which is acceptable? And what industries and what companies are there? And how to start your process for this intake, 22 intake. So the most important and the hot destination is Germany. Germany is most popular among everybody because you know that in Germany there is a low tuition fees. The tuition fees is very less. You just have to bear your living expenditures, and the living cost can also be earned easily by doing part-time jobs over there. And there are a lot of research-oriented institutes and universities are there where the job opportunities are very high, and the chances of getting later on the jobs are there. And the post study work visa is also available in Germany. Most of the students after completing their master's education get 18 months of work permit, and later on you can get it extended also, right? So let's talk about the part-time jobs and post-study work visa, which is available in Germany, right? So every student, the student who is going for higher education to Germany is been allowed to work 20 hours per week, right? And even they are allowed to work as a full-time work on the public holidays, right? And post-study work visa, as I just now given you a brief idea that in the last slide, that 18 months of work permit is allowed after completing your studies. And in Germany, what kind of a education system has been accepted is for an undergraduate level, they require 13 years of education, right? And whereas in India, we have most of the education system for an undergraduate level is 12 years. So everybody, those who wanted to go for a bachelor's program directly has to go through a foundation program to Germany. And for a master's program, you can directly apply after completing your bachelor studies. So 15 years of education is also acceptable in Germany for all the programs. So there are two major intakes. One is called as winter, and the other another one is summer. The winter intake starts in October, whereas the summer intake starts in March. So right now for fall 22, we can target fall with the winter intake. The application procedures are going on. We have two panelists available with us, those who have a lot of programs available, and the deadlines are also there. So we can easily help you out with the procedures. And how Manya can help you out with the complete application procedure is that basis your profile, basis your profile, we can help you out in doing the brainstorming session, shortlisting of the universities, and will help you out in calculating your ECT, that is the credit conversion system for Germany. And if any SOP or LOR or editing documents are required, we can help you out with those editing documents also, and we will help you out with the application procedures, the deadlines, and the process, right? So the top selling programs or the deadlines which are available for majorly courses are data science, engineering, mechatronics related fields, and MBA and management related courses are available. Computer science also, biology science and related fields are available, and there is no mandatory requirement for a German language if you wanted to apply to Germany. There are a lot of universities which offer English taught program, and today we will give you detail about the programs which are available in English language, and we will take you through the process. These are certain employment statistics which is very important for everyone to understand, that the Germany in Germany there are a lot of job opportunities available. There are around 80 their own Germany population is growing older day by day, so there is an opportunity for young people to get good job opportunities available, right? And in Germany you can apply for the residency also. They issue a blue card, right? So Germany is a country in Europe where they'll issue you the blue card, and this blue card is if you see the records last year, they have issued around 26,995 blue cards, right? So these are some of the companies which are based in Germany in which the job opportunities are available, right? So now I have my friend Gopi from EU Business School who will help you and provide you the details and the programs offered by EU. So I'll just hand over it to Gopi. He will present his screen and he'll clear all your doubts. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Priya. So let me quickly share my screen. Can you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Good. So a very good evening, everyone. My name is Gopi Krishna. I'm the Regional Recruitment Manager and Enrollment Advisor for EU Business School. So I'm with EU from last 5 years, so actually help many students to choose their right programs, help them to get their visas. And of course, I've seen many of my students actually graduated and currently working in Europe itself. So I have a decade of experience in the student advising. So I was working for US University and UK University. So I was just like you, so many of the students, so aiming to study abroad 10 years ago, I was attending these kind of sessions, but not virtually, but also more physical events, So considering the pandemic, we have moved everything into virtual right now. So it was absolute pleasure, to introduce your EU Business School to the students. So the school was established in 1973. So we are a private business school, but we do have multiple locations across Europe. We are not just the German school, but also we are more European school. So we have a campuses in Barcelona, two campuses in Switzerland. We have a campus in the Silicon Valley of Germany, which is in Munich. And we also have an online campus. So as you can see, Munich, so people are students are well aware of Berlin, Frankfurt. So Munich is becoming more popular from last 6 years. The reason behind it because of the economic superpower. So all the companies like BMW, Siemens, we talking about Tesla, so Apple has announced, so $2 billion investment in the Munich city for microprocessing chips. If you're coming from an IT background, if you're coming from an automotive background, so you're most likely to find a job much easier in Munich city than any other city in Germany. Another reason why students are actually preferring to study in Munich because of the best quality of living. So students actually, who are actually, and companies who are actually recruiting and looking for a job, so they always as a dream destination for every students or every employer to work in Munich, because there is an equal work-life balance as well. Another reason why students are preferring more Munich from last 6 years is because of the lowest crime rate in entire Germany. So you could say, in fact, it's actually ranked second in terms of the most safest cities in the world, right after Abu Dhabi, I would say. And again, the main reason why students actually study there because of the employment opportunities, what they really get. So as you can see on the screen, Munich is actually ranked #1 this year for the best study abroad destination in Europe as per the QS. And of course, it is becoming more tech and innovation hub. So if you really want to work in the tech industries and more into innovation sectors, more into automotive, blockchain, Munich has more potential. And the strongest employment growth, what does it mean? So students actually always look at, okay, so what happens after my graduation? So how long is going to get my my first job or internship or even a full-time job as well. So in Munich it is less than 3.3%, so even during the pandemic it was just 5% unemployment rate. So that's one of the reasons why students study at especially the Munich campus. So the top rankings, so business schools, because students always look at these rankings. So when I was studying, I want to study an MBA program, I always look at rankings, because that's one of the parameter I actually chooses the universities. So we've been there from last 49 years. We will be completing 50 years of our business excellence. So we are ranked #1 last year for the best class faculties. So 98% of our faculties, they are senior directors, vice president of big multinational companies. They come and teach on campus for the MBA classroom. So I was just talking to one of the professor this morning. So Professor Frank, he's actually a senior director at Microsoft. He actually teaches management consulting on campus. So similar to that, so even our Barcelona campus, it's ranked #3 on Forbes. But overall, as a school, we are ranked 43rd for the best European rankings and globally 140. Our strength, it's not just on the rankings. Our strength is more towards the practical education, what we actually follow at EU, but also our success stories. It's definitely our alumni. So we have a wide range of a master's and MBA portfolio. On the extreme left, so we do have 9 specializations under the master's program. And this master's program and MBA program are 1-year programs. So why we have 1-year program? So 1-year program is more suitable for students who really want to get into the job as quickly as possible. 2 years and 1 year, both are same, so in terms of the number of credits, everything remains same, but 1-year program is more suitable for students who really want to kickstart their career as soon as possible. So we do have a technical programs like a master's in business analytics and data science, and we also have a digital marketing. But the most popular specialization is definitely the management program. What's the difference between master's and MBA? So masters, you go deeper into the subject. For example, masters in finance, you only study finance subjects. In entire 3 semesters, you will not study any general management subjects or business related subjects. You only study finance subjects. Just like the same way in the business analytics and data science, you go deeper into the subject. So at the end, you become more specialist into the program. But on the other end, the MBA program is more for students who come with a work experience. The average classroom work experience is 7 years at EU Business School Munich campus. So, but you would see students coming with 15 years of work experience to 2 years of work experience as well. So, but the MBA program in the first 2 semesters, they would be studying the general management or leadership subjects. And in the last semester, they have to choose a specialization. So the popular specialization is definitely the international business, but we are seeing a lot of interest for digital business, sports management, and blockchain management. Especially during the pandemic, we are seeing a lot of students looking at the digital business because there are more jobs into the digital ecosystem. We also have a technical MBA, so which is the Techno Management MBA, which is an MBA in project management, an MBA in cloud computing, MBA in information system. This is more for students who want to have a technology and management as a combination. So all the programs are 1 year. And once you graduate from the program, you'll also have 18 months extension of your visa as well. So here we do have an October intake, January, and March. So in terms of the admissions requirements, what exactly we look at from a candidate? We look at a portfolio of students. So what do you mean by portfolio? So we look at the work experience, we look at the recommendation letters, we look at their CV, if they have any certifications or any achievements, if they really want to highlight. So we always welcome that. And we also look at their the English proficiency. So we ask for IELTS. 6.5 is the minimum requirement for our masters and MBA. But again, regardless of whether you have an IELTS or TOEFL or any other exam, we conduct the interview. So 30% of our admissions decision is purely based on the admissions interview. So students who did not do well in their academics, if they do well in their work experience, and if they do well in their recommendation letters and an essay, but so at the same time they do very well, they have done very good presentation during the interview, there are high chances of getting into the program as well. And the another so highlight of EU Business School is so with the industry connections we have every month, we do have a guest speaker coming on campus. So these are the few guest speakers what we had so from last 7 months. We had chairman of Nestle, country director of Google, co-founder of Starbucks. So this is very specialized, specific to the specializations what we offer. So students who are doing international business, they are actually it's mandatory for them to attend these kind of seminars. Students who are doing communications and public relations, they are asked to attend this editor in chief. And students who are doing the sports management, they are mandatory to attend the football clubs. And we have Siemens, Doha Bank, he's an alumnus of EU Business School. So last month we had a speaker from Bentley Motors. We invited CEO of Bentley Motors on campus, where he was discussing with our students to understand, what is the future of luxury automobiles as well. So that's where the key difference between EU Business School from other universities. So like I said, we are more a private institution, a business school. Our focus would be more on the practical education. So of course, if you really love sports, so we also not only just the activities on campus with the faculties and the guest speakers, we also have a lot of sports activities. If you are, want to play football, so if you really want to, be part of, the skiing clubs, because we have a Munich, so the German Alps, you can go up in the mountains and do skiing. We have a basketball team. They actually compete with other campuses, and in fact, they participate in the local events as well. We also have trips and charity events. So we call it, especially for students, who really want to do with a purpose. We do conduct a lot of charity events. Whatever the money we have, the raise that will be given to the refugees. Right now, last few months ago, we have given a charity event for for the football event. So whatever money we have raised, and that was given to the refugees for the vaccinations, in fact. So these are the career services. So at the end, students who really want to so get the job. So we do have a career services department on campus, so where students actually get the support. So we have 96% of our students, so to get the placement support. What is quite interesting is these two numbers. So on an average, students actually visit 51 companies annually. This is mandatory for all the students to attend as part of the MBA program. We also have a job portal if they want to apply through any internships or any support required. So they'll also do that. Once in every year, so in the month of Feb or March, we conduct an annual talent day. So where we invite all our corporate partners. We just completed our annual day yesterday in our Geneva campus, and 25th of March, we did it in our Munich campus. So we had almost 19 companies come again for the recruitment. These are the few companies where we have a collaborations. The newest addition is the Tesla for us because they have a 2 gigafactories outside the Munich city. But the biggest employer from last 2 years is Amazon. And the second largest employer is BMW because they have a headquarters in Munich city. And like I said, our strength is our success is only through the alumni. So we do have alumni across the globe. So what we are so proud of is, so what are they doing right now? So you could say 20% of our alumni are CEOs, and so 31% are the entrepreneurs. And these are the top companies where our alumni are working. So like I said, Deloitte, so Amazon, these are the top ones. And we also seen a lot of students actually getting into the organizations like World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, United Nations as well. So that's all from my end. So if you would like to know anything about the admissions requirements, what really makes us different, I'll be very happy to answer your questions. And like I said, what we really see from any student is the portfolio. And if you really think that so you can become a CEO, and if you really become a good presenter, or if you have a good work experience, we want to hear your stories as well. So based on your profile assessment, we can definitely evaluate if there are good chances of getting into your business school or not. So that's all from my end. I'll just ask my counterpart, Michael, to take over. I'll just stop sharing my screen. Maybe you can take over, Michael.
Yes, I would be more than happy to. Hello, everybody. As you just heard, my name is Michael, or Michael Johnson, whichever you prefer, and I'm the head of business development here at Steinbeis SMI University. I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your evening, on today's Thursday evening to join us. I really do appreciate it. Dhanyavad, Nani, Shukriya. I am coming to you today from Berlin, so Steinbeis University. We are, as I will, share my screen in just a couple of minutes, a university that has campuses all over Germany, similar to EU. The school that we will be looking at today is Steinbeis University of Innovation and Management. So let me share my screen. Hopefully this works. Management and innovation. You can see my screen, hopefully, correct?
Yes, we do.
Perfect.
Yes, Mike. It's visible. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the motto here today at Steinbeis is we help students turn their dreams into career success in Germany. Located in the heart of Berlin, it's really not only our, job to give you guys the education that you're striving for to help you achieve your academic goals, but of course you want this to lead into something. So we are, kind of going at two goals here. Number one is helping you guys discover which studies fit to you best, and today we'll be talking about our MBA program, but also what ways or, how can we help support you later on in your career. Steinbeis University School of Management and Innovation is a relatively new university. Many of you might not have heard of us before. We have a very long history within Germany and German-speaking programs, so we're very well known within Germany. When it comes to international study programs, actually, this is a relatively new area that we're super excited to, start now to welcome international students to our university. Today, we'll shortly go over a couple of these points, such as, why is Germany a good study destination? We already talked a little bit about this earlier, and especially why Berlin? Why us at Steinbeis SMI? Where are we located? Our key data, what MBA we offer, the admission requirements, the admission process, which of course I'd like to thank Manya for helping out the students today. And like I said, they're the experts in their field. So if you have any questions about us or about any, studying in Germany, visas, etc., please, don't hesitate to contact Mr. Idris or Ms. Kaur. She'd be super happy to help. And along again with the Q&A session at the end. So a lot of you guys who are thinking about going abroad might have thought, okay, I really would like to leave my home country, experience something new. Where do they speak English? And then there's kind of, three obvious answers: US, UK, Australia, right? I'm from the US originally, and I came here to Germany about 10 years ago and did my entire education. And to my surprise, actually, Germany is, not only a growing destination, but I would say within Europe, one of the best destinations to study in English. So Germany has many advantages. Not only is it an extremely safe country and everybody here does speak English, there's tons of English-speaking programs, job-wise, especially Berlin itself, as the capital of Germany, the international capital, you'll get through with English quite well. But we do have a very strong economy, as Ms. Kaur had already said, with the lowest unemployment rate, I believe one of the lowest unemployment rates within Germany, or within Europe, and we also have the 18-month work permit after graduation. Now, of course, Germany is a very large country. We have many large cities, Hamburg, Munich, Cologne, Frankfurt. So what makes Berlin special about Germany? Why study in Berlin? As I mentioned before, it is the capital of Germany, which automatically makes it an extremely attractive area for, international companies, but also for expats alike. When you're in Berlin, for example, and as you know, English is my native language, coming from the US, it's kind of confusing sometimes when I go to a coffee bar, to some shop, and I ask them a question in German, and the person there doesn't actually even speak German, so they ask me to, please ask in English so they can understand. And this is kind of the flair of the city. While it is in Germany, and it is a German city by far, you have, a very special international flair. So of course, this means after graduation, if you'd like to stay in Berlin, job opportunities also in the English-speaking sector are definitely there. When it comes to culture, etc., Berlin has an extremely long history. Some of you might know, of course, about the Berlin Wall, things like this. The city is huge. We have an entire, island dedicated to museums as well. You really won't run out of things to do. So why us at Steinbeiß SMI? So SMI is short for School of Management and Innovation. As I mentioned before, we are relatively new in the international field. However, we have more than 150 years of experience of putting theory into practice. So we are one of Germany's largest private universities, especially in the German-speaking sector, and how basically our founder, Ferdinand von Steinbeiß, you can see a picture here, basically how he envisioned education, or the way that people learn, as not only just sitting there and reading, but actually going out into the field, doing things, taking a practical approach to education. I visited India, a couple of times actually, and I kind of always compare it to learning how to drive a car. Of course, when you do your driver's license in India, Germany, the US, no matter what country, you sit there and you learn the rules. But when you're actually on the road, it's something completely different. And I think this especially holds true a bit for India, where, the first time I was driving there, I was a little bit scared, I have to admit. It was quite chaotic and intense. So of course, the same thing kind of goes with education. While you need the theory to actually understand your field, the way that you practice this theory in the field is also completely different, right? So while you might have learned this, it might look a little bit different in, your actual job later on. That's why we want you guys to get this practical on-the-site experience during your studies. So through field trips, through real-world case studies, through the professors, etc. That way, when you do go on later to your jobs, you will have this experience to kind of look back on, to reference, etc. So here you can see a little bit of this, for example, through real-world projects and challenging case studies. Important to know also is that you will, have your own mentor, etc. So you're also not alone with us at Steinbeiß. You'll always have, people, if you're having trouble understanding, some of the material, or you need a counseling session, things like that, that have your back. When it comes to, I would say our flexibility, and we're talking again about the MBA program today, we do offer this online as well. So perhaps, some of you might be married, maybe you have children, etc., and you still would like to do an MBA, but it might be a bit difficult for you to go abroad. You can always do, Steinbeiß's MBA online as well, or, half online and then come to the campus later on. We are 100% German state approved, so you will receive a German degree at the end, which is very important if you want the stay back visa, so this 18-month visa, and we are FIBA accredited. All of our programs are 100% English taught, so you do not have to worry about having any prior German knowledge. And as I mentioned before, all of our, courses, all of our modules are based specifically on, this practical approach to learning, because we want you guys to really learn, these competitive skills in order to have an edge in the job market later. One big question that I get from students as well, and especially for many students coming from India, is what about placement? Do you have placement? So as many of you guys might know, the whole placement system here in Germany is a little bit different. And we understood very early on that this could be a big issue because, cultural differences mean that you guys or, our students might not entirely know how the German job market works. How do I apply for a job? What's important to know about about the interview, etc. All of this is taken care of during your studies through the SMI Launchpad. Basically, this is a program that runs next to your studies where you get different profile analyses, one-on-one coaching sessions, training on your personal branding, German cultural codes. Again, through, Germany is a different country, so, there will be different cultural aspects. We'll help you create a LinkedIn if you already don't have one. Go over your CV and cover letter. We'll prepare you for your interviews, do mock interviews, things like this. And finally, we will support you during your job search. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, giving you guys the help or the support to achieve your academic goals is the one thing, but you want it to lead to something. And this is, of course, the second part that we really invest a lot of time and resources in, because we want to make sure that you guys go on later on to have, a job in the sector that you'd like, in a management position or a position that you feel comfortable in. We do have discounts on German lessons, so you can always learn German during your studies on the side. And of course, we provide you with many different opportunities to meet international companies, many of whom we are partnered with at different career fairs, things like this. To give you an idea of some of our partners here, and I believe that Gopi had also mentioned some of them on his presentation as well. Here, I'm sure you recognize some of the brands. So if you're looking at, an international company, I think Coca-Cola can be found in every single village on this earth at this point. Otherwise, maybe you're, a fan of German technology or engineering, then Bosch might be the place for you. The chemical company BASF is located in Ludwigshafen. I used to live there, also very nice area. All of these could, be something that you could look into for working later on. We also want to make sure that our university stays international as possible. This also means that the majority of our students that come on campus, as I mentioned before, for our English-speaking programs are not German. So that means we have, students from Iran, Turkey, India as well, etc., from all over the world. And we want to, kind of keep this vibe throughout our teaching methods as well. So you can always take a study trip to one of our top university partners. You might be familiar with SDA Bocconi, NYU Stern, or Stern, as we say in English, and Kairos Pilot. So where are we actually located and what's some of our key data? We are located at Franklinstraße or Franklin Street, 10587 Berlin. And this is actually my most favorite part of Berlin, Charlottenburg. It is quite an old area, very historical. So if you, don't end up coming to Steinbeiß, if you ever get the chance to travel to Berlin, I definitely recommend Charlottenburg. Here at the bottom on the left, you can see our campus. It's actually in an old factory building. So, Steinbeiß takes, I would say, a very sustainable approach, not only to our study programs, but to also, what we do in our daily lives. Therefore, we took over this factory and turned it into a university. It's located directly on the river, and it's only 14 minutes away from Berlin Central Station, and it's well connected with all types of public transport. In general, we have more than 22,000 alumni that make up the network of graduates at Steinbeiß. 98% of our students would recommend us to their friends and family, and over 9,000 students are actively enrolled in one of our programs. So let's actually talk about what we came here to talk about, which is, of course, the Bachelor of Business and Administration, or our MBA program. As Gopi had already mentioned, the MBA program kind of goes beyond the traditional standards of education that you have, right? So this is for students who want to kind of go into executive level, high management leading positions, so to say. So for this program, whether you come from a business, law, engineering, or political or social science background, we have many different modules that you can take that can fit your background. You can also take new modules, of course, if you're kind of tired of the field you're working in and would like to explore something new. Don't hesitate to let us know where your interests lie, and then we can help you create a schedule for the things that you are interested in. The program goes over 3 semesters, that is 90 ECTS. Our start dates are in October of 2022, which is great because that means if you do apply now, you'll have time to receive the visa until then, or April 2023. We would need your application by July 2022 of this year, or January 2023 if you'd like to look into next year. Our tuition fees are $8,600 per semester, And for the total program, 25,800, which if it is made upfront, you would receive then an 8% scholarship off. These are just a few of our modules that are included within the MBA. So as I mentioned before, they are very wide ranging. You have, from controlling to sales to global managerial economics, self-management, responsible leadership. As I mentioned before, students that study with us come from many different backgrounds, and we actually like this because the classroom should not only be a place where you go to learn from a professor, but you should also learn from each other. So it means a lot more if you're speaking to, a fellow classmate who worked for the coffee industry in Mexico, then, I would say having somebody or a bunch of people with the same background, because, this exchange of ideas can only really take place with a very diverse student body. So again, let us know what your background and what your interests are, and we'll help you to create a schedule that kind of, fits these and your future goals. If you're not yet in Germany, you can always start your first semester online and continue afterwards. You will still benefit from the 18-month permit or, after graduation, so the stay back visa. And again, with our online course in the MBA, you can really study from anywhere. There are 50% reduced tuition fees during the online semester as well. So what about our admission process? What is important for us? When it comes to the admission process, we are very quick. So you'll hear from us back within 48 hours that all documents are uploaded. As I mentioned before, today we have, two great people here from Manya with us who really know Steinbeis, who know, Germany, the application process. So if you do have any questions, you can always ask me or, my team here at Steinbeis and, your team at Manya. So you really have two people or, two teams kind of helping you with any queries you might have. After your profile is assessed and you are eligible to study at Steinbeis, you will meet your personal study advisor during a video interview. This is basically there so that we get to meet you, kind of get to see your interests, and we can answer personally any questions that you might have. Should you receive an offer and decide just to, come to Steinbeis, afterwards we will have a visa preparatory session. That way we can train you and help you to, know the questions that the embassy might ask if there is an interview. That way you are completely prepared, to arrive to Germany. Finally, you receive all your documents for the embassy and we'll be looking forward to welcoming you on campus. So what exactly do we need for your application? Of course, this is similar for any university, and our degree portal is completely online as well. So Manya will be happy to upload your application and to help you, to collect all these documents, understand what they mean, what they are. We need your degree certificate, transcripts and mark sheets, English proficiency certificate. We do offer MOIs, so it depends, on the university, which classes you have. So if you did study in English, which I'm assuming the majority of you guys did, you can submit an MOI. A CV, resume, digital photo, work experience certificate for our MBA program, because you will need a minimum of 2 years, and a copy of your passport. Finally, if you'd like to get in contact with us, of course, you can always reach me personally here, student advisor at Steinbeis-SMI. And of course, as I mentioned before, Ms. Kaur and Mr. Idris there at Manya are really experts in their field. And I really do thank you for, choosing them, because going abroad, as I experienced in the past, can be very difficult. So having them by your side really makes it a lot easier. And, they're always happy to help you with any of the documents or, any questions that you might have. To kind of, look us up and to keep in touch with our adventure, you can always follow us, on normal social media. So that could be Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, whichever you prefer. And in that case, I will bring it back then, I believe, to Priya for the Q&A session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael and Gopi, for this insightful session. It's really helpful. Let us just now see that if students have some questions, so we'll just address that. There is a question that student wanted to know that I have few questions. I will receive my graduation degree in June. I do not have any work experience, but I wanted to do MBA. So without work experience also, you can apply for an MBA program to Germany. Any other questions? Any other doubt anybody has? In Germany, there is no mandatory requirement of work experience, and even without GMAT also you can apply. It's just that you need IELTS scores. if you wanted to apply for an English taught program. Anybody has any other question, any query?
Yeah, Priya, one more student is asking how long
Yeah.
does the entire
How long does
application?
the entire application process takes? See, if you are looking for an MBA program, you need to apply with all your academic credentials along with the university requirements. So in Stanbiz, we have a tag. If you submit application, uh, complete application, they can get in, give us a reward within 48 hours, right? And same is the case with EU. If you're looking for admission procedures, you should submit all your documents. And the students have questioned that do we offer any scholarships for MBA?
So just to add to the previous question,
Yeah.
Priya, so because what we exactly look at from any potential applicant for our MBA program, it's definitely the entire portfolio, like I mentioned during my presentation. So what exactly I look at? I look at the 10th standard, 12th standard, the bachelor's, if they're currently in their final degree semester, if they are yet to give their semester exams or waiting for the results, we look at their most recent academic progress. I'm going to say the mark sheets, that should be enough because we can consider for the conditional offer letters. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course the English, we also look at the English, and so students have to write an essay
So English
and two
proficiency,
recommendations.
you mean?
Yes, you're right. So whether they can provide IELTS, TOEFL, or even so we started accepting Duolingo very recently. So then if they can prove that they have studied in English medium, so we could also consider on a case by case, depending upon their English levels. So that's how we look at the admissions point of view as well. The average time it takes is the moment we conduct the admissions interview within 48 hours, just like Steinbus. We can also provide a feedback.
Okay, okay. We have one more question. A student wanted to ask that how do internship or MBA master's thesis, is it available in MBA curriculum? Do we have such kind of a program?
I can answer this one. So when it comes to our program, the MBA is just the MBA in itself. This is because this is usually, a higher level, so to say. So most students already bring work experience. As I mentioned before, we do require 2 years work experience for the MBA students. However, here in Germany, to kind of let you know how the semesters work, is that you will have a semester break of about a month and a half up to 2 months. During this time, a lot of students will do internships. Otherwise, semester, vacation semesters are a possibility as well. And with the 18-month stay-back visa option, a lot of students do internships as well during that time. So this 18-month stay-back visa, of course, finding a job is the priority. However, maybe you're not entirely sure which area you would like to go into. A lot of students will actually do various internships during these 18 months in different fields. That way they get a field, of what they actually like to do. And in the end, apply for a job in that area. I think we did have a question too about scholarships, so I'll answer that as well. We do have scholarships, definitely. So it depends on your academic background. The higher your CGPA, along with your IELTS, TOEFL, etc., the higher the scholarship that you can receive. We do have scholarships going up to 25%, and again, this will be assessed during your admissions process, which in general takes about 48 hours.
Okay.
Same goes from EU Business School as well. The scholarships, it's on case by case. So we look at the portfolio of the student, we look at their assessment, and if they have a good academic credentials, so they are the most likely to get a merit-based scholarship. But we also have an ambassador scholarship. This is more for students, who are willing to support us in all these kind of a guest speaker events on campus. So we do have 3 slots available for India, one for the bachelor's, one for the master's, and one for the MBA. So if the student is more, more personality-wise, is very good with the presentation, who is very active in the social media, who ready to support us in any of these events. So we also put them in an ambassador program. And regarding the thesis question, so the master's and MBA, these two are two different profiles for us, so the different portfolio for us. For master's, students have to submit their project, And for an MBA, they have to submit thesis for us. So in order to graduate from the MBA. So thesis writing, they usually start from the last semester. So, and they will get a mentor from the academics department. So, once they get a 90 credits, they will be eligible for the MBA program. For the masters, so they'll have to do a couple of internships. But again, internships are not part of the program. So we highly encourage the students to do internships while they're studying, because they are eligible to work 20 hours per week while they are on student resident permit, I would say.
We have a question from someone who is asking that he has been working in the outsourcing department as an employee for 7 years, and that too in police department. He is 30 years old, and he's asking if he can pursue MBA now, preferably into business analytics.
Maybe I'll take this question, Michael. So we do offer, I would say, business analytics and data science we do offer under the master's level, so which is also 1 year. So yes, so that is absolutely fine with us, because there is no age limit for our program. But again, so if you're looking at the business analytics and data science program, so try to expect, like, students, most of them coming from the IT background and computer science background, you would see most of them coming into the program. Yes, the answer is yes, we can consider, but we would also need to see what is your academic qualification before, so before you want to do MBA, we need to assess your 10th standard, 12th standard, your high school, and your bachelor's, what you have. Then we could also, we can come to a conclusion whether you are eligible for the MBA program or a master's program.
Mike, anything you want to add here for this question?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. So for us as well, of course, with 7 years of work experience, which is, quite a lot. And that's something that we also like to see, of course, because that means you already have a very in-depth, knowledge into your field, etc., which is great for our fellow students because, they could actually learn from you how it really works practically. When it comes to business analytics, etc., as I mentioned before, we have many modules. So you can basically go through all our modules, read what would best fit to you, and then create your own. When it comes to, and I think that was a question that kind of relates to yours as well that I saw earlier, to work experience. I think somebody had asked, how do I prove work experience? This is often through a letter from your employer. I know sometimes this can be difficult to get because the employer kind of wants to know, oh, why do you want this letter? We do also accept a few various other forms. So, either pay stubs or, reference letters, things like this. That way we just make sure that you can prove that you do have the appropriate work experience. As Gopi had already mentioned previously, of course, it's not only about the work experience. We do need your academic transcripts. So, German academic law is quite strict, and it is, we do have quite high standards. So we do have to make sure all students that are, offered placement into the universities or in general into Germany do follow these academic standards. So you would have to submit your previous, high school along with your bachelor transcripts, mark sheets, etc.
There is one more question from Dilip. He's asking that I'm working in police department as an outsourcing employee from last 7 years.
Priya, we already
And
answered that. We already
Achha,
answered
we
that.
already answered. Okay, okay.
I
Any
think
other
there is one
questions?
specific question from Chetna where she was asking, is there any specific percentage required in the graduation in order to eligible for our master's program or an MBA? So Michael, you want to go for it?
Yeah, sure. So for us at Steinbeis, we do have a particular CGPA that we accept. For India, this is 60%. So you have to have 60% or above. In some cases, say you're really on the border, and I mean really, really on the border with 59, etc. We would have an interview with you, possibly a second one, just to make sure that, the knowledge or the background that you need is really there to be successful. And the reason we do have this, of course, is because when it comes to studying abroad, etc., it can be a challenge. And we want to make sure that the students that we do accept to Steinbeis University are the ones that will succeed. We don't want to give anybody false hope. So again, 60% is our border there. And if you're not sure exactly, what percentage you have, the, team at Manya can help you again. They can translate it also into the German GPA. You can also contact us as well.
The same goes with EU as well. So we look at minimum 60%, but also we look at your academic subjects. So if you're looking at these technical programs, especially the data science or cloud computing or information systems, so we also look at certain combination in your undergraduate studies. So yes, if you have if you are on the borderline, so please do share the profile and book in slot with us. So maybe we can give an initial feedback, what are the areas, how you can actually build up your profile. So then we can actually, so put forward, so I think the best way is reach out to Manya and, request for an assessment. So maybe we can give some little bit of an initial feedback whether you are eligible or.
Yes, someone is asking how can I connect with you guys? I mean, for further
Chetna,
details.
Idris, Chetna, we will share you our contact details. You can get in touch with Manya and you can get in touch with EU or Stanbiz anyways. We'll share you the details for that.
Yeah, so as always, so we are available everywhere, so you can reach out
Yeah.
to us and many other sources, so yeah, I think the best way is, so discuss with your consultant and, so if you have a specific question for us, so maybe, we could schedule a call, we could definitely,
Yeah.
so definitely schedule, or else you can also connect with us on LinkedIn, we are also available on LinkedIn everywhere. But again, sometimes, we cannot answer your question because sometimes we oversee your messages. So I think it's better, you actually go with the procedure so that it would be easy for both of us.
And Priya, just to add to that, our teams would be also getting in touch with the students who have registered for the event, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, perfect. I think we missed a couple of questions. Someone was asking about the fee and the time duration of the course. If Mike and Gopi want to answer that.
So for the master's program, sorry, Michael. So for the master's program, our tuition fees is 14,250 euros, approximately 11 lakhs would be the Indian rupees for the master's. And for the MBA, we are looking at 20,850 euros, approximately 17 to 18 lakhs would be the tuition fee for the MBA. So the master's program is a little bit on the affordable side because of the number of credits what we offer, but the MBA is on the higher side because of 90 ECTS. And oh, sorry, what is the second question? I forgot.
That's the duration of the course, Gopi.
Yeah, it's a 1 year program. It's a both masters and MBA are 1 year. So it's a 1 year program and 18 months extension of the visa.
And for us, of course, our MBA, so the one we're talking about today, is a 1.5-year program, so 90 ECTS, 3 semesters. The tuition fees are 8,600 per semester or 25,800 for the entire program.
Someone is asking about the deadlines for a specific admission period intakes.
So for us, the next the upcoming intake, is October 2022. There, the application deadline is in July of 2022. This is simply because, as many of you guys realize, also through the COVID pandemic, us working, in private universities or in general universities in Germany, especially there in India, the time to process visas has exploded. Unfortunately. So that means the earlier that you do apply, the better the chance that you will receive your visa on time.
Yeah, same goes with the EU as well. So we do have 3 intakes. So student can join any time during the entire semester. So that means students can join for the October. We have a January session. We have a March session. The last day where we would be considering the application is 1 month before the start date. So that means 3rd of September is the last day where we will be considering the application. As rightly said by Michael, so the average processing time at the German consulate is 2 to 3 months now, so the early they start, the early they actually submit their file. In fact, this is the right time to get an offer letter from any German university, shortlisted university by end of April or May is the right time so that you can submit your file at the German consulate by end of July so that you'll be on time. Otherwise, you would be stuck within the visa situation, and you might need sometimes more than 3 months as well. So based on experience, I think the early it's better. So it's definitely not like US or UK. You just go give an interview and get a result. It doesn't work like that with German consulate. So it's a bit lengthy documentation
Yeah.
process. So the early you submit, it's better.
Kritesh, it is better to start your applications for the this winter intake, because as Gopi and Michael has just now explained, the visa process is a time consuming process, and Indian consulates are taking time. The dates are not easily available. It is always suggested that you should start as soon as possible the admission procedures. And there is one more question from Shantanu. What is the job situation in Germany?
Maybe Michael, you want to go
Yeah,
ahead?
sure, gladly.
Yeah.
So at the moment, and I'm sure this is a question that Gopi or anybody, from working or living here in Germany also has been asked, because studying, of course, as I mentioned, wants you to, the goal is at the end to better your career, so to say, especially if you want to stay in Germany. And COVID, for many people, has kind of, ruined this image of being able to prosper in a foreign country. Luckily, however, in Germany, we are basically recovered from the pandemic. Right now, when it comes to, maybe that's interesting for you as well, I would say it's basically at a similar level to India. You don't even have to wear masks when you go in stores anymore. So the economy is almost completely recovered from it. When it comes to a job availability, again, this is something that any, university here in Germany concentrates on, during your studies. So we have the Launchpad, for example. The economy is, of course, expected to start growing again after the pandemic. I know a lot of you guys, of course, are also aware of the current situation in Eastern Europe. It's a very sad situation. When it comes to, us in Germany, economic-wise, we don't expect this to have a giant impact. It could have a small impact, I will be completely honest with you. However, when we're talking about the MBA especially, this is a degree really that is such, has a very bright and wide range of things that you can do afterwards. It shouldn't affect any of our graduates.
I think I would like to put a little bit of a few more points to Michael here. So one is especially students who are coming with an IT skill set. I think during the pandemic, so they are the first ones to get jobs, because most of the companies, so they're looking for a student, who has a digital skill set, digital mindset. Every company is moving towards a digital one. The students who really come with a coding background or a digital skill set background, I think they're the first ones to get jobs. But the best part about Germany is, so you do have 18 months time. You can still stay in the country and search for a job, with peace of mind as well. But again, so there are a lot of factors. Even though it's a very generalized question, so I think the best way is do an internships while you're studying. I think the best way is to get into the job market. So even though it's an unpaid one or a paid one, I think the best way is to crack into the job market is once you enter, it's very easy to actually, so to make some connections and move up in the ladder, I would say. So take some help from the career services department or an alumni relations or any other support you get. But again, it's not just, university will help you. I think there's a lot of, support in a lot of hard work need to be done from the student as well to be successful. I think it's 80% from the student and 20% from the university. I think it has to go side by side. But again, the German economy is definitely the strongest economy in entire European Union. So and I think student has to be very, specific to which city they are actually, like cities like Berlin, Munich, Frankfurt. These are most of the job creation really happens. So if they go to a small towns, so they have to come to the big cities and look for an internships. So there is a difference between studying in city like Munich or Berlin versus go to a small town like Dresden or anywhere. So where there are less job opportunities there and people actually come and look for a job. So that's a hard reality, I would say. And the most important thing is the German language. So if you have a good command over German language, you're gonna get a lot of opportunities in Germany. Of course, there are a lot of English jobs as well, but you're gonna multiply your opportunities when you have at least a German language proficiency.
Yeah, I think these are great insights. I mean, I learned a lot
Yeah.
from this presentation, this session. Very informative. And for students who really look into studying in Germany, I think this was something they were looking at, and I hope that they have grasped to what they're looking for.
It was really an insightful session. Thanks a lot, both of you. We will surely get in touch with you as and when we'll get the queries from the students, and we'll help you. We'll get in touch with you for the applications as soon as possible.
Everybody, you guys from outside, of course,
I think so. We covered and we answered all the questions. So,
Yes, I would like
Nitish,
to
should
thank.
we? Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to thank entire Manya team, to make it happen, So me and Michael, we did a lot of sessions like this together, So it's always pleasure, So but I think in this way we connect each other as well once in a while. So so the only suggestion for students coming in from India is, so everything is back to normal. Make sure you get your full vaccinations before coming into the country, and start applying for visas a bit early. That would be the sincere advice from the universities, because if you're coming at the last moment, so you might need to start the program online, and once you get your visas, then you have to start in the middle of the semester. So to avoid that, it's better you start the process in advance and take some help, and and of course we are there to support you guys. And I would like to thank Shah and Priya to make this happen, and we look forward to strengthening our partnership in
Sure,
future.
sure, Gopi. We will definitely take care of the visa process for the applicants, and I know the current situation which is going on, so we will make sure we'll speed up and start the process immediately, right?
of course, from my side as well. Well, thank you everybody for the
Okay,
organization, and
thank
especially
you, thank you,
to
everyone.
the
Yeah.
viewers. Till then, thank you. Dhanyavad, Shukriya
Okay.
Nani.
Yeah.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice
Thank
day.
you
Bye.
to Mike and Gopi. Thank you everyone
Bye.
for joining in. Have a good evening, and Mike, you have a good afternoon.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye.
everybody.